Please do take your seats, members. Thank you for the warm welcome. As we reconvene, members, we will now afford the Secretary to read the next order of the day.
Vote 8, Human Settlements, Western Cape Adjustments Appropriation Bill.
Can we settle down, members? Thank you very much. I now recognize the Honourable Member Tertius Simmers.
Dank u, voorzitter. En geluk dat u nou die vergadering moet leiden tot uitvaltijd, toe kan ik afleiden. Honourable Chairperson, Honourable Premier, Honourable fellow Cabinet members, Honourable Leader of the Opposition, Honourable members of the House, colleagues and guests. As I am pleased to table the adjustment estimate for vote 8, which is human settlements, I do so reflecting on a well-known and historical speech which was delivered by Theodore Roosevelt on the 23rd of April, 1910. I am going to quote a portion of this well-known quote for you, because it is so relevant in the time which we as a country find ourselves in. And he said, "It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly. This Western Cape government has been and still remains at the forefront of daring greatly to ensure a better quality of life for all its residents. Ons kan nie dieselfde sê vir die nasionale regering natuurlik. This is demonstrated in our commitment to accelerating human settlements delivery while promoting social inclusion through the development of integrated, resilient, and sustainable human settlements in an open society. Madam Chair, our settlements are and will continue to reflect citizens living together in one community, regardless of their color, creed, language, culture, or sexual orientation. We are building true and cohesive communities in the Western Cape, for the country, in this country, but also one community at a time. Since the commencement of my tenure as Minister exactly 6 months ago, I stated that I will be focusing on 3 radical drivers throughout my term of office. And just as a recap, these 3 are: 1, radical acceleration of housing opportunities; secondly, radical implementation of innovative solutions; and lastly, an integrated approach to human settlements. Our use of the term radical refers to a significant, innovative push towards getting our people into housing opportunities, along with ownership through title deeds. As in both instances, we are creating a better life for all of our people, while restoring the dignity of our residents, given our past injustices. Madam Chair, Madam House Chair, it does, however, not stop there. As we are ensuring that our people are living in better locations, in better areas, and under remarkably improved conditions. This is all occurring at an accelerated pace so that our residents and their immediate families are able to benefit. We are experiencing this integration on a daily basis, as people from different areas are all moving together to establish and form new communities. We have many examples where integration is currently happening. If it is going to be an effort to travel, then just drop in at Forest Village, where earlier this morning, 85 beneficiaries moved in. And noting that it's also World Disability Day, 34 of the 85 that moved in this morning is persons with disability. By the end of tomorrow, another 96 people would have moved in, bringing the total people with disability over the 2 days moving into this area to 108 over the 2 days. That is integration. And if you are able to travel, like your honorable leader of the position,
Order, members.
and it's not even that far, drive into Bredasdorp, where you will see further examples
members,
of our projects.
Minister Simmons,
That is
will you please
integration.
take your seat? Can I please ask the members on my left to contain yourself? You will have the opportunity to the mic. Please give the minister an opportunity to finish his speech. Please go ahead, Minister.
Our flagship first development in the BLRCBD is another such example, Madam Chair, where you can once again go and experience for yourself, members, instead of just each time pointing out failures. Go and see true integration happening in a sustainable manner. In al hierdie gevalle, net soos met al ons projekte, sal u ons almal hier in hierdie huis 'n mengelmoes van mense vind wat saam in een gemeenskap woon. Ware integrasie waar die gemeenskappe ook toegang het tot ekonomiese geleenthede of opkomende ekonomiese geleenthede, die publieke vervoerstelsel, die gedeelte wat nog werk, as ook alle staatsgeriewe soos skole, klinieke en biblioteke wat normaalweg in 'n baie nabye radius is. Integration is happening throughout this province, Madam Chair, all in an effort to address the apartheid spatial legacy. And I'm happy I'm hearing what the leader of the opposition is saying. He should be wise, together with the opposition, to remember the city of Cape Town is not the Western Cape. There are 30 municipal areas which form the Western Cape. So go and take a 360-degree view before you want to argue what you are arguing at the moment. Madam Chair,
Order, members.
But
Minister,
now-
can I ask you to please address the chair? Members, please contain yourself. Please go ahead, Minister.
Madam Chair, but now I'm going to focus on the adjustment budget, which is why we are here today. The adjustment we have received is just over 122 million rand, which is an increase of 5.7% when measured against our main budget. This includes 3.415 million for emergency housing. The National Department of Human Settlements allocated a portion of an unallocated Schedule 7 grant to our province during July 2019, following the devastating fire damage to houses in Wuppertal, which is in the Cederberg, Klein Willem area. Revenue of 34.5 million rand from the 2018-19 cycle were retained and approved for bulk and related infrastructure not funded from the USDG grant. This includes Penhill and Itemba farms, as well as the Belhar CBD, and provision of 10 million rand for innovative housing solutions in George is also part of this amount. Madam Chairperson, yeah, George, you have a problem here. Madam Chairperson, during his delivery in the House last week, Minister Mania highlighted the dire state of our economy. I don't have to repeat it, as we are all fully aware of the current situation, given the stats that was released half an hour ago. I'd however like to quote one aspect of his address, where he stated, and I'm quoting him, "What should be going up is going down, and what should be going down is going up in South Africa," close quote. This is quite significant, particularly for us as a delivery component of the Western Cape government. This is part of the reason why I have visited and engaged a wide variety of stakeholders across all districts and local municipalities, 30 to be in total. The message that I have given to them is clear and concise, and julle kan maar gaan opvolg. It is not business as usual anymore, Madam Chair. But yet we need to deliver at an accelerated pace under difficult circumstances. So, perhaps I should repeat myself for our colleagues on this side of the House. It is not business as usual, yet delivery should be accelerated under these difficult circumstances. Madam Chair, soos ek verskeie distrikte besoek het en met belanghebbendes en belanghebbende groepe gepraat het, was van my kritische vraag aan hulle. Eerstens, aan die municipaliteite. Watter projek of projekte is nou gereed om versneld te word binne die plaaslike municipaliteit? Want ons, as die provinciale regering en ek as die minister, wil verseker dat ons mense so gauw as moontlik en binne die raamwerk van die wet gehelp word. Moet nie na projekte kyk wat nog lang in die pipeline af is nie. En ons wil veral deur hierdie projekte wat julle moet identifiseer, bejaardes, gestremdes, huise waar kinders die ouer rol of hoofrol moet speel, en die wat nou al langer as 15 jaar en meer op die waglys is, wag, sowel as ons agterplaasbewoners graag help, so verseker dat julle projekte kan materialiseer binne 'n 5 jaar termyn verlewering. Wyl ons die toekennings evenredig oor alle distrikte versprei, was die klem geplaas daarop dat hul projekte absorbasiekapasiteit moet hê, seker, member Mauron en member Marren.
Member
For
Maran.
those who took the time and made the effort to read through the 2019 overview of the adjusted provincial and municipal infrastructure investment document, dan sal u daarvan bewus is dat aan die Weskus, en ek het nog gehoor wat u sê, member Mauron, op die Weskus ontvang hulle addisionele 64.1 miljoen. Sorry. This brings the total provincial government's
Member,
commitment towards human
Minister
settlements and
Simmons.
infrastructure.
Yes, member, say it.
Chair, on a point of order, I've been looking through the list of names and surnames of members in the House. I don't recall there being a member Mauron in the House. Can the Honourable MEC please withdraw the remarks and the way in which he's referred to? I don't know to who he's referring to, but there's no member Mauron in the House.
Thank you, member. Minister?
In oorsig is het tekortkoming, mevrouw die voorzitter. Ik denk ik sien Maroon, ik sien Maroon, né? Maar verskoning, member Merren. Dank je. Waar was ik nou weer? This brings the total provincial government's commitment towards human settlements infrastructure to 149.9 million in
Members,
2019-2020.
Minister? Yes, member.
Chair, is it parliamentary for the MEC to refer to members of parliament as Maurons? Because now we spoke about Maurons in the plural. He must withdraw that.
Member Simmons, or Minister Simmons, was that deliberately or intentionally? Will you then kindly withdraw?
Ik zal die lid aanraden om een woordenboek te gaan benaderen. We gaan eens zien wat die woord Maroon betekent. Dank je. Die 3 groot projecten wat hieruit gaan baat is Rivier Kasteel wat 24.1 miljoen ontvangt, Loetsville 24.1 miljoen en Lamberts Bay 19 miljoen rand. Kleiner toelaag wordt ook onder aangewend in Veldrif, de 7.7 miljoen, en Mamasbury 6.9 miljoen. Mevrouw de voorzitter, op Alweer wordt 88.4 miljoen voor behuizing aangewend in het
Minister,
district.
member Lily, are you rising on a point of order?
On you, Speaker, and I don't understand you.
Come again.
I don't understand you, Speaker.
What is the problem, member Lily?
I mean, there was a question here raised in relation to the member that insulted the members. Instead of you ordering that member to actually withdraw what he said, you are asking, on what basis? On what basis, Ms. Speaker?
Thank you,
are
member
asking?
Lily. On the
On
first,
what?
thank you, member. I hear you. Can you please take your seat? On the first question, I heard the member withdrawing in Afrikaans, if I'm not mistaken. No. Yes, he did. No. Let us refer to answered and get back to you. Please proceed, Minister.
Dank u, voorzitter. Om het jaar weer te herhalen. Op hulle beurt wordt 88.4 miljoen voor behuizing aangewend in die Overberg district. Hiervan is 16.1 miljoen en 13.5 miljoen onderscheidelijk voor Bredasdorp en Oosten waar topstructuren aangebracht zal worden. Die tuinroute district ontvangt een inspuiting van 27.2%. Dit is een stijging vanaf 367.3 miljoen tot 467.1 miljoen rand. Een paar voorbeelden wat hier genoemd kan worden, is die Tembaletu-uitbreiding, wat 15.3 miljoen zal ontvangen voor topstructuren, 15 miljoen voor diensten op die metrogronde in George, terwijl meer dan 14 miljoen rand voor die Kolweni-bossie schip, zowel als die Ebenezer ontwikkeling in die Bito municipale area gaan. in the Central Karoo District, dankie Ulalama, it's for you. In the Central Karoo District, and from a social infrastructure perspective, the provincial allocation for 2019-20 almost doubled from 45.2 million to 80.8 million. That's a 70.8% increase in this adjustment budget. The significant increase can be attributed to an additional 37 million rand from the HSDG grant allocation that has been appropriated towards the construction of top structures in Beaufort West. This allocation bodes well to address the need for adequate housing in the Central Karoo District. Madam Chair, if we are to deliver sustainable developments, then the use of alternative building technology can no longer be ignored. Earlier, I said that it is not business as usual, yet delivery should be accelerated. And ABT addresses the cost factor, the time-saving factor, while also protecting our environment. At the same time, our most deserving residents are benefiting, but at an accelerated pace. We are coming to the end of a decade and cannot allow ourselves to be stuck in the past. Instead, we ought to embrace the future if we are to continue being successful and creating opportunities at an accelerated pace. Just before I conclude, let me mention the following, Madam House Chair. For the current financial year, we are the only province that has spent more than 50%, and to be exact, nearly 60% of its allocations on the creation of housing opportunities. The next best performing provinces are Mpumalanga and the Eastern Cape, both on 48%. It is for this reason that just last week, the National Minister of Human Settlements and Water and Sanitation, Ndiwe Sisulu, is quoted in the Citizen article saying the following: redirected money, which was taken from 5 provinces, has been allocated to provinces where they have been doing a good job of meeting their housing construction commitments. Those provinces are the Western Cape, Eastern Cape, KwaZulu-Natal, and Mpumalanga, close quote. We will continue to be daring, Madam House Chair, by being innovative, as we remain committed to assisting our residents throughout the province. We intend not to return to societies of old. Instead, the establishment of an integrated, safe, resilient, and sustainable communities will not only be continued, but accelerated across our province. My challenge today to all members in this House today is to become an enabler by encouraging your constituencies to be, and constituents to be law-abiding citizens, to register to become beneficiaries of our projects, and refrain from illegal land occupation and protest that hinders and hampers the actual delivery of services, as these illegal activities only cause delays to and for those that should be benefiting from this government. Baie dankie, thank you.
Baie dankie, agbare minister Simmers. Ek erken nou die agbare lid Andile Lili.
Thanks very much. Indeed, it is a shame on the government of the Devil's Alliance to claim easy victories about the Western Cape that all of us sitting here, even on the gallery, knows it is in a bad state in terms of service delivery. Madam Chair, South Africa prides itself with having one of the most progressive
Member Lili,
constitutions.
will you please take your seat?
Honourable Chairperson, I just want to understand if the member is referring to a political party in this House when he refers to the Devil Alliance.
Member Lili,
Yes, I'm referring to a political party.
Well, in that case, on a point of order, can I please ask that you ask the member to withdraw because there is no such
To
political
who?
party.
There is no Devil's Alliance here. I will never apologize. I'm sorry, you're wasting my time. Since the inception of an inclusive democracy, the ANC-led government has prided itself on ensuring that
Member Lili, please take your seat.
Honourable Honourable Chair.
Chair,
I'm
he's wasting my time.
Member Lilly, can you please take your seat and afford the Deputy Chief Whip?
Honourable Chair, I just want to understand, is it parliamentary for a member to speak outside of his bench?
Since the inception of an inclusive democracy, the ANC-led government has prided itself on ensuring that it constantly works towards protecting the rights of its citizens. Madam Chair, Section 21 of the Constitution states that everyone has the right to housing. Yet the DA-led government, as it can be seen with these adjusted estimates, is failing to provide citizens of Saldanha Bay with housing. I wish to provide context for the House. The Pongweni PHP project in Middelbos, Saldanha was approved in 2009 for 1,401 plots. It is important to highlight that it was under the rule of the ANC. That 551 units were built during that time, phase one. When the DA government came into power, the project was brought to a halt for various reasons, such as apparent lack of funds and other deliberate mistruths like illegal occupants. The department continues to fail to take accountability and insists on playing the blame game and insists that funds are located at a national level. I wish to highlight that these are all serviced sites, thus meaning the only thing that is needed is top structure and infrastructure. There are over 800 houses that are still need to be built. The beneficiaries are asking for answers, and this department keeps on feeding them lies. At least when I visited them again, I will be able to show them what it contains in these budget adjustments. Unfortunately, I was there with my feet. There are over 800
Member
houses
Lilly,
that still...
Member Lilly, my apologies, can you please take your seat? Members on the left and on the right, will you please refrain from talking back and forth? You are disrupting the member. The Deputy Chief Whip, on the question of the member stepping out of his bench, I believe it is a space issue. It's not that the member wants to exit his bench completely. So we will now, please, members, afford the member Lilly the opportunity.
I so wish you are counting my time, Madam Chair. Money that could have been used to finish the Pongweni PHP project is being used for none other important things. The department continues to reclassify, redirect funds for various sub-programs. However, none of these reclassifications, redirections speak to the addressing real issues on the ground. Can we also look at the contribution of poor housing and influx of informal settlements to the crime situation in the province? Premier's 1 billion safety plan should also look into housing provision.
Order, members.
Accessible roads and adequate lighting, especially in those top 10 mega precincts in the province. The people of Marikana are protesting on a daily basis because they don't have services. They are forced to live under inhuman conditions with no water and sanitation. They are still forced to use bucket system, the porta pot. That is your toilet, porta pot. Yes. The Premier has met with them and made many empty promises. I wish I had hope could be addressed through these adjusted estimates. Madam Chair, the department is getting an additional 122.3 million. 84 million of these is rollovers that were not used for the provincial emergency housing grant to be utilized to provide temporal shelter assistance to households affected by fire and storm damages in the Cape Metro. Thousands of our people fall victim to fire hazards and flooding every year. So far, a lot of money not be used in a cause of a serious concern. Madam Chair, the continued outcry of housing opportunities near places of opportunity should be all the necessary attention it deserves. The unwillingness of the Democratic Alliance to make provisions for low-cost and affordable housing, as well as social housing near places of opportunities, should be condemned. The battle for Tafelberg site to be used for housing for the poor went to the High Court last week, in which Judge Gamble reminded the DA, which is the Devil's Alliance, that it has not built social housing near places of opportunity
Member Lilly.
in the past
Member Lilly.
10 years.
Can I please caution you from name calling? I believe there is no political party in this house as the Devil's Alliance.
But
Not but, member.
it seems as if you are biased now.
No, I'm not, member.
When I'm talking about Devil's Alliance,
Member Lilly,
What rule?
there is no such
What rule
party
did I
as the
broke?
Devil's Alliance.
what rule did I broke,
Will you
Chair?
please proceed with your address?
Okay. Through these adjustments, we had hoped to see provisions made to address the above concerns. However, the DA has not cared about the poor. This MEC is out to tarnish the legacy of the little good things that MEC Madigizela did in that department. I disagree with
Order,
him
members.
on many things, especially on the one of giving abantu bakuthi ipota pota. In the midst of all those differences, he still acknowledged that majority of the population and those on the waiting list reside in the metro. This is not to say there is no need for housing in other regions, but the focus needs to be in the metro. This MEC, who is followed by a cloud of allegations of stealing electricity in George, is using this department's budget to clean his image of 10 million rand for housing development
Member Lilly.
has since been set aside to finance George
Please take
municipality.
your seat, member. Deputy Chief Whip.
Thank you, Honourable Chair. Chair, I'm rising on Rule 59.2, and I quote, any member who wishes to bring any improper or unethical conduct on the part of any member to the attention of this House may only do so by way of a substantive motion. I ask that you please ask the member to withdraw his statement unless he can substitute that with a substantive motion.
Thank you, Deputy Chief Whip. Member Lilly, will you please withdraw your latter
I
statement?
still maintain it is alleged, and everybody in this house knows it is alleged. That means no. I will not. I will not.
Members, Member
For as long
Lilly,
as the
Member
people of this
Lilly,
country-
Member Lilly, I'm speaking now.
You must speak.
You are
Not
saying,
him.
you mentioned alleged.
Yes.
We will refer to answered and
Yes.
revert back.
Yes.
Can I please ask you to conclude?
Okay.
Member,
This MEC who is followed by a cloud of allegations.
Member
of stealing
Lilly,
electricity.
Member Lilly, I ask you to please conclude.
Yes.
You cannot repeat yourself.
I'm not repeating myself, but you are interrupting me. Of stealing electricity in George is using the department's budget to clean his yes.
Member Lily, your time is up. Please take your seat.
For innovative,
Member Lily,
emergency
your
housing
time is
solution.
up. Please take your seat.
None of the other municipalities
Member
got
Lily,
the same
please take
special
your seat.
attention of the MEC.
On a point
is
of
wrong for
order.
the public
On a
purpose
point of order.
But you see, you
Member
know,
Lily,
on a point of
I
order.
did not recognize you. Please take your seat.
On a point of order, do you?
I did not
No, 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 no.
recognize you, Member Lily. Take your
No,
seat.
no. On a point of order, yeah.
Please take your seat.
I'm raising now my hand.
The Chief Whip were on her feet. Please take your seat. Please take your seat, Member Lily.
Must name him.
Please take your seat.
Allow me to
Honourable Speaker.
What is your point of order, Member Lily?
Honourable Speaker, I ask that you name this member
Please take
for
your seat,
improper
Member Lily.
conduct in this House.
Member Lily, please take your seat.
not to be biased on the other side of the house. You seem to be biased.
Mazat,
You must read your rules.
I recognize the Chief Whip.
Thank you, Honourable Chairperson. That member's conduct is completely out of order. And I ask
Same
that
as
you
yours.
call him to order, and if not, that you request that the member be named.
Can I address you, Speaker?
Go ahead, Chief Whip.
Kalam asseblief, comrades.
Member Lily, please contain yourself.
Chief Whip, I realize that there seems to be tensions that are up. But in that, Chairperson, I would like you to make a ruling based on what you have made your observations on. I'm raising this because the Chief Whip has just rose, and as the Chief Whip summarizes the input, she then says, I will suggest that you name the member. And as I'm standing here, I believe that you are the only chairperson appointed or designated to preside over the proceedings of their house. And therefore, for somebody else to actually tell you what to do is really not necessary and uncalled for. I thank you, Speaker.
Thank you very much, Member. We will indeed refer to Hansard and revert back to the House. Thank you very much. Member?
Chair, I rise on a point of order. I mean, this is very, very serious. And you refer to Hansard when the message that is coming from a member is not very clear. The member clearly is casting aspersion on the integrity of the chairperson, and everybody heard that. That is completely unacceptable. So you see what I mean? I would like the chairperson to consult the table so that you can make a ruling in this regard. The behavior of this member is completely unacceptable. He's casting aspersions.
Order, Member.
He's casting
Order, Member Lily. Please take your seat, Member Lily. Member Lily, you are out of order. Please proceed, Minister.
Surely, Chairperson, this behavior cannot be tolerated.
I recognize the Honourable Minister Fernandez.
Honourable Chairperson, in the interest of getting on with the business of the day, there are two issues. Rule 43 says the precedence of a presiding officer or chairperson. Whilst you're speaking, an honourable member cannot be sitting down and shouting at you. And then you move to Rule 45, where a member can be ordered to withdraw if his behaviour or her behaviour is in direct contrast to what is required. What we are seeing playing out here is a complete contempt for the chair and the rules of this House. So please be guided accordingly. But I do think our members should go and read their rules and manage themselves.
Thank you, Minister. Member Kama.
In actual fact, Chair, I want to agree with the last speaker to say that you have made a ruling. The actual contempt of the chair is them trying to change the ruling you have made. You have made a ruling that you are going to check answered and revert to the matter. Thanks.
Chief Whip.
Thank you, Honourable Chairperson. I'd like to raise a further point of order, which says that no member may reflect upon any decision, I beg pardon, may reflect on the honour or competence of the holder of an office whose removal from such offices is dependent on a decision from the House. The honourable member has accused you of bias, which I believe is in contravention of this rule.
Thank you, Chief Whip. Members, for the sake of proceeding, I will stand by the ruling that I will refer to Hansard, and this matter will come back to the House. We will now recognize the Honourable Derek America.
Thank you, House Chair. There's lots of tension in the House. House Chair, yesterday I ended my speech with a reference to a song by Bob Dylan. Today I will begin my speech with a reference to a singer called Pete Seegers, a song that was made famous in 1963 with the song of Little Boxes. And many of us might know the song, and I will entertain you with my singing ability. It says, little boxes on the hillside, little boxes made of ticky-tacky, little boxes on the hillside, little boxes all the same. There's a green one and a pink one,
Member Lily,
a blue
are you
one
rising on a
and
point of
yellow
order?
one, and they're
Member
all
America, will you please take your seat?
Speaker, is it parliamentary for a member to sing in the House?
That is not a point of order, member.
I'm
Please take your
asking,
seat.
Chair, is it parliamentary for him to sing in the House?
Please take your seat, Member Lily.
So,
All right.
So, the point is, House Chair, the context of the song is that since the dawn of democracy in 1994, we had an ANC government that developed norms and standards for building houses for our people that resemble little boxes, and they all look the same, and they all have different colors. And if you go into the rural areas, you will see every rural area in South Africa, or in the Western Cape in particular, has a smarty town, because they're all different colors and they all look the same. So if one look at the annual performance plan of this department for 2019 and 2020, and if you've gone through this, you will notice that there is a concerted and a deliberate attempt by the department to move away from the construction of houses that resemble little boxes and that the ANC affectionately refer to as RDP houses. So, House Chair, this department, I can say, is committed to accelerated delivery of housing while promoting social cohesion through the development of an integrated and sustainable human settlements in an open society. Read your annual report, you never come to committee meetings. And it seems to promote settlements that offer good basic and socio-economic services to our people. The Department of Human Settlements, led by Minister Tertius Simmers, has committed itself to delivering housing opportunities and restoring the dignity of our people, including those living in informal settlements and backyard dwellers across the province. With the constant moving of people into the province, resulting in the ever-increasing informal settlements, it remains a challenge for this department. To the end, we must commend the department for being responsive to the needs of the most vulnerable and impoverished people of our province. The department has diligently championed a number of successes, and the 3 priority areas that were identified by the Minister being directed to are the upgrading of informal settlements, increasing affordable housing, and prioritizing housing to the most deserving people, including military veterans, in relation to the allocation of those houses. We need to acknowledge the ongoing challenge and the updating of the beneficiary databases of our municipalities. The department employed innovative ways through technology in dealing with the challenge, and I have no doubt that the preliminary results show great promise and will greatly benefit the communities of the Western Cape. Our Chair, I support the Department of Human Settlements adjusted appropriation budget for this particular financial year. Furthermore, we are pleased with the department's commitment to go above and beyond its call of duty and to show that the Western Cape does not only deliver top structures, but it has prioritized bulk services. Service delivery to this department is a priority, and service delivery, particularly in housing, has to be fast-tracked. People on the ground are demanding services, they are demanding houses, and they do not care who delivers those houses. Where the blockages are, whether it's national government or municipalities, they want houses. We cannot sleep well at night knowing that so many of our people are in need of a roof over their heads. We dare not sit back and be complacent. Non-action can be seen by the people as a reflection on our government. We do not falter and disappoint them. We need to condemn the disruption of service delivery to the most deserving beneficiaries, as those criminal elements delay the completion of housing projects. By doing so, we will turn the tide against social ills and the unemployment rate that leads to crime in the country and in our province in particular. The whole of government and society the whole of government and society's approach, we need to have a paradigm shift in terms of how we think about housing and how we move away from this dependency mode of our people that government must provide and government must build houses. But we must also...
Member America, will you please take your seat? Members, we cannot make a mockery of these proceedings, and I don't know if you're taking chances because I'm in the chair. Member Lily, you are in contravention of Rule 40. By your behavior, you are interrupting the speaker. Can I please ask you to refrain from doing so? Member Lily, I did not recognize you. Please do take your seat. Member America, please proceed.
Thank you, House Chair. What I was saying, House Chair, is that we need to have a paradigm shift. We need to move away from this notion.
Member Lily, what is your point of order?
No, Chair, there is something that I don't understand about you in your sharing.
What is your point of order,
I need
Member
a clarity on you, Chair.
What is your point of order?
No, Chair, how you treated me. Whilst I was talking, they were howling. Yeah. And it seems as if you are biased, Chair. And that is really
Member
out
Lily,
of order in you, Chair. That is out of order in you,
Member
Chair.
Lily, please take your seat.
No.
Honourable Chief Whip.
Thank you, Honourable Chairperson. Again, the Honourable Member Lily has reflected on your competence as a holder of office, which is, in my view, and I'm certainly certain others would share my view, that would be in contravention of the rules. And I would ask that you please consider this.
Chair.
Thank you, Chief Whip. We will revert back. Member Lily, please take your seat. I will now ask Member America to proceed.
Thank you, House Chair. What I was saying, House Chair, is that we as members of this august House and engaging with our communities, we need to reorientate our people and move away from the notion that government must provide everything. And we are one of the few countries in the world that provide free houses to people. And so we need to ensure that our people pay for services. If they do get a free house, they must pay for electricity, they must pay for these services. But nonetheless, House Speaker, the Standing Committee on Human Settlements has consistently engaged with the department to do things differently, and the Minister and his department have committed themselves that they will usher in a new approach towards the delivery of houses, and we are pleased that we, as a standing committee, we always receive their full cooperation. The Minister's leadership is vital for creating housing opportunities for all approved beneficiaries in this province. On behalf of our chairperson, Honourable Matlodi, who due to unforeseen circumstances cannot be here today, I wish to thank the Standing Committee members for really engaging with the department. Furthermore, may I also express our sincerest gratitude to Minister Madikizela for the solid foundations laid over the past 10 years from which we reap the benefits today. Lastly, to the outgoing HOD, Mr. Tandem Guli, you have led this department with humility and together with your team of competent professionals contributed immensely to changing people's lives in the Western Cape. To the incoming HOD, Ms. Jackie Sampson, your competency and commitment to service delivery is unquestioned and unrivaled. We have no doubt that together with the Minister, you will take this department to new heights. Congratulations on your appointment. House Chair, the DA supports this adjustment budget, and I thank you.
Thank you, Honourable America. I now recognize the Honourable Makama Bocha.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I couldn't be here this morning because of time constraints. We only have 2 minutes in this House to speak, so we can't have any contributions. However, I'm here now. Thank you. At the core of apartheid special planning was the exclusion of black people from economic hubs and suburban areas, that they would be cramped in the townships and commute to town every day to serve their employers and go home. Services and infrastructure development prioritized white suburbs, cities and towns. The majority of our people in our country were excluded from the basic services like water and sanitation, electricity, housing, and refuse collection services. Not much has changed in the 25 years later, while the poor, mostly black, are still stuck in conditions they were in even in the post-democracy. The Western Cape of Human Settlement Department, through the case on the sale of Tafelberg site in Sea Point and other similar cases, has displayed that it has no plans for proper social integration. Their idea of social integration is throwing black people of different cultural backgrounds in dry housing settlements in the periphery with not much access to transport, schools, health facilities. The silence on the appalling conditions of the concentration camp called Blikkiesdorp, which was meant to be a temporary relocation center, and various so-called temporary relocation centers that have become home of our people, is appalling. The situation is even worse for rural communities who have been treated as stepchildren of all governance structures. There are high numbers of farm evictions, and this report does not specify how these will be kept and what provisions are there for families who get kicked out of farms. They are never included in the budget whatsoever. Farm workers' children end up dropping out of school.
Member, can
Women
I please ask you to
find themselves
conclude?
highly dependent on abusive men because of the only source of security they have. We must be a government that is always on the side of the poor.
Thank you, Member Makamba Bocha. Member Heron.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, I have no objection to the proposed adjustment budget, but I do want to point out to, to our government that if they regard Forest Village and the two Bredasdorp housing projects as evidence of spatial integration, then we have a deep, deep, deep problem with this government. The Forest Village and Bredasdorp are the epitome of developing the apartheid spatial form. They're built on the urban peripheries in both the city of Cape Town and Bredasdorp. And if this safety plan is to succeed, Chairperson, then you're going to have to address the Group Areas Act in the apartheid spatial form. You cannot only do it with social services and boots on the ground. And finally, just to complete Honourable America's song, there's a pink one and a blue one and a green one and a yellow one. That may not be the colour of the houses built in Bredasdorp, but they are little boxes.
Thank you, Member Aaron. I recognize the Honourable Christians. You decline your opportunity. Thank you. Member Marais.
Thank you, Speaker. I want to say that I want the Minister please to have a look at Morningstar Durbanville's houses. There's more than 150 houses, built, beautiful houses, standing vacant for more than 2 years now. And the battle there is the NGL wants to allocate houses. Where they think they get the power from, I don't know. That is a city function. And why can't this matter be settled in courts as speedily as possible? Why must houses stand empty while people are living on the streets and in squatter camps? The second point, I want the department please to tell this House, if need be, we must take back the houses under community care, expropriate those houses. Ask the government. They took social housing and charged the people now market-related rents for former social housing.
Please wrap up, Member.
And I'm wrapping up, Member. I want to say, if you could please do something about it. Are there legal possibilities to take those houses back?
Your
and charge the people
time has
social
run out,
rent?
Member Marais.
Or-
Thank you very much. Please take your seat.
Allah, wish we had another speaker. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Member. I now afford the opportunity for the Honourable Minister Simmers.
Thank you, House Chair. Het is baie interessant om naar die insette te luister. Maar ik wil net vir Member Matlodi en haar wesigheid baie dankie sê vir haar leiding met die staande komitee. Dankie aan u ook, Member Amerika, wat 'n boodskap namens haar oorgedra het. Maar ek wil ook aan die volle staande komitee dankie sê dat alle partye ingestem het tot die verskywings wat ons met hierdie begroting wil maak. Member Lily, in Afrikaans is daar gesegde, leë blikke maak die meeste geraas. En dit is nie 'n insult nie, dit is Afrikaanse gesegde, lees hom op. Nou om
Speaker.
tot die relevante punte te beantwoord.
Minister Simmers, please take your seat.
Speaker,
Are you
on a
rising
point of order,
Members, Maran and Lily, I'm unable to hear your own member this side. Will you please contain yourself?
Speaker, on a point of order, and it's a point that I raised yesterday as well. It's not correct for the MEC to be speaking directly to the member. He's addressing the Honourable Lily directly. You should speak through yourself. Thank you.
Thank you, Member. Please, Member Lily, are you the chair now? Minister, please refrain from referring to the members. Please address the chair.
Huisvoorsitter, deur u. Daar's Afrikaanse gesegde wat sê leë blikke maak die meeste geraas. Member Lily, on the matter of the Bongweni project, and it was explained to you, you and I had a meeting in my office, Madam Chair, through you, Madam
Chair. Chair, he's doing it again, Chairperson. He's doing it. He did not say through the chair. That can then be referred to Hansard to see whether he said it through the chair.
Members, on the left and the right, please settle down. I did explicitly hear the minister say through the chair. Thank you. Please proceed, Minister.
Can I
Madam
address you,
Chair, through the chair.
Are you rising on a point?
Let me answer you through the chair. The project in Saldanha, Bongweni. You are
Minister,
correct,
please
Member
take your
Lally.
seat.
Thank you, Chair. Maybe, Chair, I really need to address you. When MEC Simas stood up again after the ruling, he again said, Member Lily through the chair, and not through you, Chair. So he made it the other way around. And I don't want this house to be confused by the fact that he said through you, but he said that after he mentioned Member Lily's name. So whilst we're here, we really need to be genuine in dealing with issues so that we don't really cast aspersions on one another, but we really assist this house on doing and executing its responsibilities. And I would like to make another request that I address something after this specific vote, Chair, if I'm allowed.
Will that be on a point of order, member? Please take your seat. Proceed, Minister.
Madam Chair, on the Bongweni matter, Member Lily and I did have a meeting, Madam Chair, in my office, where it was explained to him that yes, it was approved that over multi-budget years, but you are not guaranteed funding in the outer budget cycle. But he also concurred with me during that meeting that other communities within the Saldanha area also needs to be afforded an housing opportunity. I do concur with Member Lily, Madam Chair, that everyone has the right to adequate housing, but there are due processes to ensure that you, in a fair manner, that everybody actually gets access to an adequate housing opportunity. On the matter of Marikana, Madam Chair, it was reported early in the year through an interaction in this House that the City of Cape Town has ensured that there is temporary toilet structures for the Marikana community, but also water provision well above the normal national ratio. Madam Chair, now I could go to Member Herren. Member Herren, if you visit the Forest Village site and the Bredasdorp site, and I've had the privilege, Madam Chair, to hand over numerous units at both sites, to see the beneficiaries who receive these houses, who have never actually lived in a formal structure in any form in their life. Even this morning, when I got clips from what's happening on the Forest Village site, Madam Chair, the people have been, some of them have been waiting for more than 40 years. I think they will beg to differ with what has been said here regarding the Forest Village and Bredasdorp sites. But yes, we do need to do more, and that is what we will do over the next few years. Madam Chair, through you to Member Herren. Member Chair, to the EFF regarding the matter of the farm workers, we are busy looking into this matter, and in due course, in the new year, we will report to this House how we will deal with that problem. Through you, Madam Chair, to Member Marais from the Freedom Fund Plus, obvious. Unfortunately, the Morning Star issue is in litigation, and as the governing party, we do respect the process of law. Unfortunately, due to the community's own interactions and seeking that route, we must all await the outcome of litigation. It's unfortunately something that is out of our control. Regarding the communique issues through you, Madam Chair, I can say that the tribunal are looking into numerous cases, and we are busy preparing and finalizing reports which in due course will serve before Cabinet during the new year, because as the Minister, I'm also concerned what is busy happening, but there's only so much that I can do in that regard. Madam House Chair, the last 6 months has truly been a journey of change, both for me as an individual, but also for my department, but also the 30 municipalities where I have visited, and people that I've interacted with. So it has really changed me over the last 6 months. But Madam Chair, change is also the only constant in life. That's what we all need to remember here. That's all ding wat verseker is, daar kom verandering. It is therefore on this platform, in this House, that I want to wish the outgoing HOD, Mr. Thando Mguli, who has been the HOD for 7 years of this department, well on his journey that lies ahead. Van dieselfde dat mense hierdie tipe toegewyde, gedisciplineerde en gefokusde staatsamptenare in die moderne era kry en om meneer Mguli aan te haal, dis die goddelike, eerlike waarheid. Ek wil ook dankie sê aan ons senior bestuurspan hier teenwoordig vir hul toegewydheid om ons mense se lewens radikaal te verander. Hulle het dit al reeds begin doen oor die afgelope 10 jaar, ons gaan dit net versnel, mevrou die huisvoorsitter. But Madam House Chair, many of us here have families. We spend so much time serving our communities that many times our family see so little of us. And I want to take this opportunity, firstly, my own office staff, who I see as my close family. They are sitting here in the gallery. For some of them, it's their first time that they are actually attending a sitting like this, Madam Chair. And I want to thank them, and they are under the leadership of my head of ministry, who is Ms. Wilwete Njalo, or I call her Vuvu for short. And I want to thank them for being just as committed as I am to radically change.
Minister Simmons, please take your seat. Member Lily.
I want a clarity. I want a clarity, Chair, from the MEC, through you.
What is your point of order, Member Lily?
I'm raising on a point of clarity. That is it parliamentary for him to only fire the only black
Member
HOD
Lily,
in that
that is not a point of
government
order,
of the
neither a
Devil's Alliance.
point of
The
clarity.
only black.
Member Lily, you are
If he
out of
tends to
order.
be
Please
praising
take your
you-
seat. Minister, please proceed.
Mevrou huisvoorsitter, dan ook elkeen van ons in hierdie huis het eggenote, ons kinders, ek myself en ek wil my eggenoot en my kinders, maar ook my ouers wat nou al redelik gevorderd is in hulle jare. Baie dankie sê dat hulle bereid is om my op te offer om alles te kan doen wat ek wil doen ten bate van die breër gemeenskap van die Weskaap. En laaste maar nie die minste nie, wil ek vir elke liewe lid in hierdie huis 'n geseënde en voorspoedige feesseisoen en Kersfees toewens. Mag ons deur hierdie tyd reflekteer, waarom is ons lede van hierdie huis? En dan bepaal dit waartoe ons gaan na 2024. Baie dankie.
Baie dankie, agbare minister Simmers. Member, you wanted to address the chair?
Thank you, Chair.
Order, members.
Whilst respecting the fact that you have already made a ruling on the first issue, there was a second one that came up where Comrade Lily used a word, my apologies, where Member Lily used a word or alleged to have been casting aspersions on your part as the chair. If I listened carefully to what he said, Member Lily said, it seems like you are being biased. With that, Chair, I want to bring your attention to the wording of the rule, which is Rule 62, which reads as follows. No member may reflect on the honor or competence of the holder of an office. Now, this is a collection of words, first, and in it there's a word may. Now, may has different meanings, which means he expressed a possibility. If one can make an example, one can say, my grandma may travel alone in that journey. Meaning, the grandma may or may not travel.
Maybe, member,
Therefore, I want to bring your attention to the technicality of that clause itself as and when you are making a decision, because the use of that rule on its own is problematic. It's not phrased properly, and it needs to be worked on. And therefore, there's a technicality, and I don't think the use of the word may seem from Comrade Lily is actually casting an aspersion on you like he did allegedly.
Thank
and
you-
again, he
thank
said
you,
may
member.
seem. Thank you.
Member, I have already ruled on this. I will also apply Rule 52E, which refers to the chair's discretion, which means that I keep to the ruling that was made and will not further entertain this issue. I will now allow for a 2-minute break, whereafter we will reconvene. Thank you.